Hello everyone, Robert Rambles here, and welcome back to WoW Classic Wrath and our Draenei Shaman playthrough. It's been a little while since I've been on the Shaman. We had Joyous Journeys for 4 weeks, and we focused pretty heavily on the Rogue during that time. And I haven't touched the Shaman since Joyous Journeys released. But now there is no more Joyous Journeys, and now we're trying out the classes that we had going on before that. So yesterday I spent some time on the Druid, and today I am going to spend some time on the Shaman. Just trying to figure out what we want to focus on going forward. We had a few different characters in motion. I would really like to find something to kind of sink our teeth into for a while. Work on the crafting, fishing, cooking, all that good stuff. But you know, I want to make sure it's the right class. I want to make sure it's the right faction. So yeah, today we are just putting our toes back into the water here on the Shaman. Hope you guys don't mind, and I hope you're doing well. And I should say thank you for joining me. Bear with me as I figure out what we're doing and why. Because it's been a minute. Which I did mention. Let's go ahead and get our Flame Tongue. We were going elemental with our Draenei lady here. That is what we were doing, and I was getting really into that idea, so I think we are going to keep going that way. We're going to take 5 points in both concussion for increased damage and convection for reduced mana cost. Let's finish concussion, and then we will put the next 3 points in convection. That is what we're doing. At least what the plan was. So with that in mind, I should be opening with Lightning Bolt from ranged. And throwing up a Flame Shock. Then we could get some melee going on if we want to conserve mana. Earth Shock. I wonder if it's worth it just to continue to Lightning Bolt. And with that, we are out of mana. I do have some water, thankfully, so we can go ahead and drink. We could eat as well, if we want to put this food buff up on ourselves here. 4 additional stamina and spirit for 15 minutes. These guys are level 17. We could probably fight our way in there if we were doing it slowly, but I don't really want to do that yet. For this character's progression, they should probably be going over to Darkshore right about now to jump over there for a bit, do the green quest. We could kind of pick and choose over there, but we would want to go to Darkshore for a bit, and then we want to come back and finish up Blood Mist. Right now, everything I'm talking about is hypothetical, and not me committing to any plan, because as I said, it's kind of a time for me when I don't really know what else I want to focus on. Now that the Joyous Journeys is over, I'm going to continue to play the Rogue for about an hour or so a day, so probably just 1 episode a day for the Rogue, as it works its way through Northrend, because, you know, we've recently worked through Northrend on the Alliance side. And so that's content that we've recently done. So we'll be doing that on the rogue, just to continue to level her, because I would like to play that character at max level as a melee DPS. But then for an actual leveling playthrough that we can really sink into and be immersed in, I don't know what I want to play. I think with the rogue playthrough, I'm probably not gonna be reading all the quests anymore on the rogue playthrough, because we just read all the Alliance quest in Northrend. We're doing the 100% of the side quest. We're gonna do that on the Paladin, so we're still gonna be reading all the quests on the Paladin that we haven't finished yet. So on the rogue, I think I'm gonna handle it how I kind of handled the last episode to date, which is that I didn't read any of the quests. We just grabbed them all, and we did it what I call old school, because it's how I used to play the game before I started the channel. I would just grab all the quests and go to the objective. Sometimes I like skim read them really quick, you know, to get the general idea of things that are going on, but for the most part, it was just leveling as quickly as we could with the guild. So when the expansion would drop, well, they would all stay awake for the expansion drop, and I would go to bed early, and I'd wake up at 4 or 5 in the morning the next day, and by then 4 or 5 in the morning the next day, everyone's gone to sleep because they're so tired from staying up overnight, playing all night. I would wake up super early and just have like the spaces to myself. There'd be no other players around really. So yeah, that's how I leveled. But then from there on, it was like level non-stop, you know, 8, 9, 10 hours a day until you were max level. And so we didn't read the quests because you didn't have time for that. That was when I was in a raiding guild that cared about progression. Life was different. I would like to play the game the way I do now to level, but still care about progression at endgame, but so far those two things haven't coincided. It's been interesting. I don't want to fight these guys. In fact, we are not going to be fighting these guys today. If we even survive this one. Yeah, that's... Like I said, we should be going to Darkshore if we were going to continue the characters leveling from here. We would soon go to Darkshore and do some low-level questing. Yeah, we came all the way up here, but there aren't really... There's a couple of quests here that I don't really want to do right now either. Let's just focus on finding the moths. They seem kind of few and far between. That's kind of why we got run all the way up here just kind of looking for them, but I realize now that there aren't any up here. Mutant Tanglers we need too. What level are these guys? Mutant Tanglers are level 17, so yeah, we can do this one as well. The Trents we don't need. There's so many enemies wandering this little area here, it's kind of difficult to think about dealing with it. This character would also need their first aid leveled up quickly, because that little bandage was really cute, but it didn't really do anything to help us, now did it? It was cute though. I'm gonna end up having to fight one of these Ravagers to clear them. So I should probably just stand back and pick that fight and have a better time of it. And also what I'm doing is I'm going back and I'm trying these classes that we had going. In the evening time when I'm done working, I'm kind of taking notes and reflecting about my experiences on the class that day. Things that I enjoyed, things that I didn't enjoy. Kind of like a pros and cons list. I actually think that I wrote it out that way. So yeah, I'm really trying to be as analytical as I can to make sure that we invest our future time wisely, because yeah, without the Joyous Journeys buff, we're looking at a nice long campaign. And I just want it to be on as perfect of a class as we can. Like, certain things are not going to change. Like, no matter what class we end up on, what faction, we're going to do fishing and cooking, and we're going to have primary professions. Like, that's going to be what we do for these long campaigns. When we don't have the Joyous Journeys, we're just really going to make it about just sinking deep into things. And I'll keep all the city stuff in, I'll keep the travel stuff in. Running back to train, all the little inconvenient stuff that you just have to do to play the game. I'll just keep all that stuff in, and it will be the longest campaign in the history of published WoW campaigns on the internet. But I want to do that on the class that's perfect. That was the point. Not perfect. It just has to end up having more pros than cons, essentially. Sometimes I think I had a really good time on a class until I sit down. Like, I sat down with the druid and did the pros and cons, and then, like, let's just say that the cons list was much longer than the pros list, and made me realize, oh, while that was fun, it isn't something that you're going to want to do long term. Because look at all the stuff you wrote under the cons list. Yeah, the butterflies are... I kind of want to get these tanglers, but they are also few and far between. And they are surrounded by other enemies. And for anybody wondering, I don't have any plans to play the Tauren Warrior going forward right now. No plans right now to play that in the near future. It's hard to explain it myself. I had a falling out with the character. Let's say that. And while it's not impossible that we might come back to it one day, we're not going to anytime in the near future. Which is kind of why I kind of lean towards wanting to have a Horde playthrough. That's kind of what I'm leaning towards right now. Because we haven't had one for a while. And we just spent 70 hours on the human rogue. And before that, we spent a bunch of time on the human paladin, so... We've given the Alliance a lot of attention recently, in the past 6 months or so. What's been happening to me recently with classes is that it started with the mage. I've been having this thing where like there's a class that I'll have this preconceived idea about, like the mage, and how like I don't like the mage, it's not going to be a class I like. And then we played that human mage, and I absolutely loved it. Same thing kind of happened with the rogue, where it was a class that I played before. I knew that I had certain issues with it, there were things about it that I didn't care for, but it was something that I didn't have a lot of experience with, and I wanted to get to know it more. And then through getting to know it more, I really ended up falling in love with those classes. It's been a really good experience. So I think about the classes that I don't know a lot, and the only classes left that we haven't really devoted significant hours to, I believe, would be, you know, Warlock, Druid, and Hunter. But really anything. There's lots of classes that we haven't gotten past level 30 or so. Alright, so we got the Lashers. We need to head back over to the east now. I need to focus up a little bit. But I am fairly deep in my thoughts this morning. Fairly deep in my thoughts, so this will not be efficient to play. I wouldn't think. We had a fire totem up. I think that's probably why we pulled this Ravager. We've done so much melee on the rogue, I do feel like we should do something from range. Which would basically be anything that we would do would probably be from range. See, the only thing that would be melee would be the druid, and I'm kind of leaning away from the druid because playing it feral especially is so similar to the rogue. Just because of the energy and combo points. The abilities are different. You're relying more on bleeds, it seems like, on the druid, which is really interesting. I'm looking forward to finishing the druid someday. But I don't know if that's going to be the character I focus on right now. Just because of I'm already spending so much time on the rogue, and I'm going to continue to spend time on the rogue. I wanna melee DPS. You know, like, let's say heroic 5-mans. let's keep it realistic for right now. But I'd like to at least do that and get it some gear and have fun. Maybe do some PvP at endgame with her. Dwarven Hatchet of Strength. Let's go ahead and get some mana back. I see a couple of moths right in front of us we can take out. That will finish up the quest. We have a bear creeping up behind us. He is going to turn around. Got our Stoneclaw totem saving us there from what seemed like imminent death. I like how it can hold aggro for a minute too, over like a hit or so. That's really nice. Alright, we are done. We can go turn these in. I don't know if we're ready to come over here yet. Yeah, probably not. Let's turn these in and see if there is a follow-up. Or maybe we want to go north. We could do this up here. We have a level 18 quest over here.
Warm wishes to you. Safe journey.
We don't really need the attack power, but we'll take it, I guess. If you replace this item, the following stat changes will occur. Do you guys see the little tab there? What am I getting that from? Is that a... That's not an add-on thing. Well, I had to disable immersion for today because immersion was not working very well. I don't think a lot of add-ons are working very well right now. Bagnon wasn't working. So, yeah. Okay, well we'll take the attack power.
Be kind to those less fortunate.
Even though we don't strictly need it. We are still melee swinging quite a bit though. That's true. I would like to find a vendor and dump some of our things.
May I be of service?
Gonna try to get better about selling the greens on the auction house that are bind on equip.
Favor the road traveled by few.
Alright, that is probably as good as that inventory is going to get for now. Let's go check out the Void Anomaly. Void Anomalies, plural. Yep, let's go do that. It's a little bit of a hike, but it's within our level range, so... Can I get out there with the road? Yeah, probably. Well, this is not a good situation. Let's do this. Let's do this. Let's give to the Naru ourselves. We could probably back off here to get a couple lightning bolts. Well, we actually handled that fairly well, all things considered. Especially given my ineptitude and rustiness with the class. But now we need to drink. We also need to scout all the way inside here, it looks like. There we go, Sun Portal Site confirmed. Do we want to head over here and grab Ysera's Tears? Restoring Sanctity, 8 Dragon Bones. This is level 18 stuff. We're just kind of pushing it, I think. Yeah, I'm not sure, guys. I am not sure. Let's go try it. It looks like we just have to collect a couple of things, but we have a turn-in over here. We have another quest down there to the south. And I kind of feel like they're all going to be higher level quests. But we will go over there and see. Well, this could be a problem. We might be okay. We seem fairly resilient to their elemental attacks, which makes sense, I suppose. Let's heal up. And let's go ahead and drink and eat. They do aggro from quite a ways away because they can smell the low level on us. There we go, there's level 17. We will pop a point into convection. It says these potentially spawn in quite a few places, but we're just not seeing them today. We do have another maintenance today. So we had an all-day maintenance yesterday. Hour-long maintenance today, so it says it'll only be an hour. We'll see if servers come back up or not. If not, have to find something else to do. Speaking of other things to do, thank you those of you guys who have come over to the other channel and checked out the Valheim playthrough over there, over at Rambles Gaming. I really do appreciate that. I am having a lot of fun in Valheim. Most of it is pretty chill. Sometimes there are stressful moments, like when we're running from trolls, but overall it's a really chill game. And I've been enjoying it quite a bit. We are running out of water pretty quickly because we're having to drink a lot. I see an item all the way over there off in the distance, and it might be our best shot. Gonna have to fight through at least one more of these green whelps. Maybe two more. They fly around a lot. You really can't avoid them. Trying to avoid them is going to cause more problems than just fighting them. Which is typically the case in Classic with any enemies that move. Like, we're not going to be able to sneak in there. What we don't want to do is put ourselves in a position to pull 2 of them accidentally. That is what we don't want. Now the problem is going to be these other 2 quests. Because we're running short on time. And we are kind of, we're taking a beating from these guys and we're out of water. So let's just go ahead and we'll hearth back to town. Seems like the best thing we can do at the moment.
You wish to buy? Trade?
We need some more of that.
Dionys Aka. May the light embrace you. Be well. Remember the lessons of the past.
We could take stamina and attack power.
Be kind to those less fortunate.
There we go. That's a pretty cool looking leather chest piece. I don't think I've ever seen one like that before. Very cool.
Good fortune. Blessings upon your family.
And some stamina. Oh, well, let's take the leather. Stamina, agility. Even though we want intellect, I think for now I'll take the leather.
Good health, long life. Remember the lessons of the past.
Alright, guys, I think with that, it's probably an okay time to take a little bit of a break here. Obviously, lots to think about. I really enjoy the Shaman class a lot. The biggest thing right now is that I feel like I need to be doing a Horde playthrough. Like I said, we've done so much Alliance stuff recently that maybe the Shaman is going to have to wait for a time when we're really, you know, wanting to get back onto the Alliance side of things. So yeah, I don't really know what I'm going to do. I'm going to spend a little bit of time also on the Blood Elf Priest. Later today, if the servers come back up, maybe I'll get on and do that, just to try that character out again. Yeah. Besides that, there's a couple classes I was thinking of, including the Hunter and the Warlock, that would be fun to do on the Horde side. Kind of like the idea of the Warlock, we could get away from leatherworking and skinning, and we could do tailoring and enchanting, I think. That was what I was really looking forward to on the Priest, was doing tailoring and enchanting together. I thought that was going to be really, really cool and bountiful for the character. And then, of course, still doing the cooking and fishing and all that stuff. But yeah, the only reason I'd avoid Hunter is, like, honestly, I've never had a lot of fun on a Hunter. And I've played very little Warlock, so there's like a higher chance that I'll enjoy the Warlock than there is that I'll enjoy the Hunter. I've tried to roll up multiple Hunters, and I don't really get far before I start to find it just incredibly boring. Both aesthetically, lore-wise, I just don't get into the class. I like the idea of a melee Hunter. I know a lot of people hate the survival Hunter, how it is now. I really like that. I really like the idea of a Hunter in melee with a spear, or a polearm. I think that's really cool. And if Hunter had a melee spec, I would probably rock that, because it would be another melee class to play. And, you know, the world needs more of those. But yeah, we'll see, guys. I will be taking some notes and thinking about some things. I'd love to hear from you guys as well. What would you like to see on the Horde side of things on the channel? If we're talking about, like, a longer playthrough that's going to be going on without Joyous Journeys. What would you like to see? Let me know. And until next time, take care of yourselves out there in the real world and take care of each other. And we will see you back here again very soon. Bye for now.